What if I were to tell you that your mind, the very instrument designed to liberate you, has slipped into your prison unnoticed? Not for lack of intelligence, but because you've learned to think like the crowd. We wake up, we scroll, we pursue, we respond, we live on noise, we mistake distraction for meaning, and we label it life. Secret deep within you, something stirs in your heart that understands you were created for better than comfort, not madness but clarity. The Stoics grasped this long ago. They exercised their minds like warriors, exercised their bodies, not to flee life, but to encounter it head on. Marcus Aurelius once penned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is not verse. That is an order. And if you can learn to obey it, your whole world starts to rebuild from the inside out. In this video, we're plunging in to learn 10 Stoic laws that will rebuild the way you think. Not motivational malarkey. Genuine rewiring. Each law is ancient, proven in the battlefield of pain, betrayal, and loss, but more applicable today than ever before. Before we start, do something. If you are committed to controlling your mind, don't sit and watch this like another self-help video. Participate. Leave a comment when something resonates with you, like this video, to bookmark it in your journey. And don't miss a single second, because one skipped law may put you in the dark when life strikes the hardest. Let's start. Most minds nowadays are quick but delicate. We act first, we speak first, we post first. But the Stoic waits, he observes. He observes the storm before entering it. Epictetus taught, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. So ask yourself, how many masters do you have? That guy cutting you off on the road, that guy on the internet, that guy who let you down. Each time you respond without consciousness, you give them the keys to your serenity. Observation is your initial act of defiance. When you learn to observe before you speak, to sense before you fight, you begin restoring your mind from anarchy into control. Stop, take a breath. Consider the question, is this something I can control? If not, drop it. That is not weakness. That is sovereignty. Most individuals view dilemmas as penalty. The Stoic considers them training. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Each hurdle you go through, the rejection, the failure, the silence, isn't stopping your progress. It is your progress. The universe doesn't test you to destroy you. It trains you to ready you. Consider a blade. It is not honed by silk. It is hammered into stone, hammered into pressure, hammered into fire. So too is your mind. When you sense resistance, whisper to yourself, "This is the training ground. This is where I become strong." Every time you stand instead of running away, your brain rewires. Your fear rewires. Your future rewires. 2 truths down, and already the foundation of your thinking begins to shift. You're not escaping the storm anymore. You're learning to steer through it. But rebuilding your mind demands more than calm observation and courage. It demands transformation. From expectation to ownership, from fear to discipline. We wait so much of life for things to be fair. We promise ourselves we deserve more, that life owes us balance, that one day the scales will be equal. But the Stoics never waited. They had come to accept the world is random, imperfect, sometimes cruel. And that strength starts where fairness ends. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire over corruption, betrayal, and loss. He never grumbled. He just inquired, "What is in my control?" And did that. Fairness isn't a guarantee, it is a wish. You reclaim your power when you stop wishing and begin doing. The Stoic mind does not pursue justice from the world. It manufactures it within. Life doesn't owe you anything, but your effort, your integrity, your concentration. Those are things you must pay every day, and every time you say it is not fair, recall, the universe is impartial. It does not punish or reward. It simply will show you who is ready and who is not. So rather than saying why it happened, ask, how can I grow up through it? Because every moment that seems unfair is a mirror reflecting to you how much stronger you can get. We all desire control. Control of others, of outcomes, of timing, of the future. But control is a trap when it is directed outwards. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." That is the Stoic formula. The only kingdom you ever really have dominion over is your inner kingdom. Your mind, your decisions, your response, all else is wind and weather. You can't force the storm, but you can order your sails. You can't force others to be kind, but you can be kind regardless. You can't dictate how long life provides you, but you can control how intensely you live in each hour. When you focus on what is within your control, something changes, the din recedes. The turmoil outside ceases to dictate the turmoil within. Now you are stable, not because the world is, but because you are. And that is the Stoic advantage in a crazy world. Most people sink attempting to master the tide. The Stoic gets to ride it. Where there is a world fixated on comfort, discipline is revolt. Seneca voluntarily endured hardship, sleeping on the floor, plain food, without punishment. But training, he knew that a mind spoiled by comfort breaks when subjected to stress. Each choice of discomfort, feasting, cold showers, silence, early rising develops a muscle the world cannot see. Willpower. The more you exercise it, the stronger you are. When adversity comes, you do not give way because you have already experienced it by choice. Comfort has made millions soft. Challenge has made a few unshakable. So ask yourself, when was the last time you did something hard on purpose? When did you last deny your comfort to build your character? The Stoic doesn't wait for chaos to test him. He creates his own training, because when life finally hits, he is already ready. Music deepens. Drums pulse softly, signaling a shift. You've experienced injustice. You've started controlling what you can. You've known pain, but here is the toughest transition of all, the art of release. We have been conditioned to pursue outcomes, the grade, the promotion, the numbers, the applause. We convince ourselves that success is validation of worth, but the Stoic understands differently. He removes himself from outcomes and becomes enamored with the process, because outcomes fall to chance, but effort falls to you. Epictetus stated, "It is achieved by ignoring things that are out of our control." Each time you attach your value to an outcome, you surrender your peace. But when you attach it to your actions, you are untouchable. You don't have to win in order to grow. You don't have to be noticed to be proud. You don't have to be perfect to be mighty. As soon as you stop requiring results, you begin working freely. Ironically, that is when results come. The Stoic labors not to impress, but to excel. The process itself is sanctified. Effort itself is reward. Most of us live as though we have an eternity. They put off dreams, spend hours doing nothing, put off love. But the Stoics thought about death, not to be afraid of it, but to wake up. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say and think." That reality isn't somber. It is freedom, because once you realize that any moment might be your last, any moment is valuable. How many times did you utter later I'll begin, later I'll recover, later I'll attempt. Later is a falsehood. Later doesn't exist. There is only today, and you are throwing it away, waiting for perfect timing. The Stoic does not wait for a better day. He constructs one from whatever the present offers him. Memento mori, remember you will die. Not as fear, but as fire. The clock is ticking. Each second is an opportunity to live on purpose, to end the scrolling and begin to become. And in knowing that, you start to notice what truly matters. It is not stuff. It is not prestige. It is virtue. The Stoics instructed that character is the sole fortune that never depreciates. Seneca advised, "I will regulate my life and conduct as if the entire world were to view the one and read the other." That is integrity, doing the right thing even when nobody applauds, being truthful even when silence is safer, standing upright even when it costs you. Virtue does not yell. It waits patiently while the world cries out. The Stoic does not stir for likes or praise. He stirs because his soul insists. When you decide virtue over validation, you cease to live for approval and begin to live for peace. You become your own guide. You walk your own way. Music builds. Drums recede, sounding like thunder, moving over mountains. The laws are crafting inside of you right now. Detachment, mortality, virtue. Each of them chiseling out the static so that only force is left. But there is one more awareness that puts knowledge into power. You don't become unshakable by hearing wisdom. You become unshakable by living it. All the laws you've heard are not philosophy. They're a mirror. The mind you construct will only be as robust as the truth you are ready to confront. Stop fleeing hardship. Stop pleading with life to be easy. The Stoic doesn't pray for easier loads. He prays for stronger shoulders. Marcus Aurelius reigned with war, plague, and betrayal. But he wrote not with despair but tranquility. He didn't wait for peace. He manufactured it within. That is the heart of the reconstructed mind, mastery over self, not circumstance.